Yeah. We're on live.
Rightio. Welcome, boys, to this episode. Technically under the after party, but we're back to 6 beers deep, baby. Technically the fucking podcast where we finish it, we started rather, when we finished our 6 beer. But we have actually been a bit fucking bitch ass today and we haven't really had the 6 beers, so
3 beers.
Either way, we've fucking got a brilliant guest on.
Cheers.
Fucking
Cheers.
Aussie boxing icon, friend of the pod, Issac Hardman. How the fuck are we, brother?
Really good. It's a pleasure to be here with you guys. It's a step up from last time we got on.
Fuck yeah, we're moving up.
Back at Nitro in the staff room with plastic chairs. Now we got arms.
Yeah, fucking oath.
Cushions, cracking along. So it's good to be here.
Mate, well, I know you're going to kind of keep it clean on the sauce a little bit, but boys, there's a way that we fucking do this around here. And you have to,
That's how you start.
See
you at the bottom, all right?
I got lime in mine.
There we go. I'm backing him in. He's a champ.
We're on.
There we go.
This ain't Pistol's first rodeo. And got rid of that quick.
Definitely not.
Yeah,
Is that a tradition on the 6 beers deep? You start
we started when we finished our 6, but as I was telling you before, we pretty much fuck it up every single time and kook it in one way or another because we're all drunk fucking messes.
Well, it is midday, so it's tough.
It is midday, it's Saturday, we're fucking allowed to do what we want, so let's get fucking weird.
We're all pretty rinsed as well.
I'm not. I'm fresh.
Oh, you're fresh.
So I can have more.
Oh, well. But, mate, fucking shitloads been happening since I've fucking last seen you. Big fire's been happening, especially the last one.
Yep.
Yeah.
What the fuck, bro? You have you spoken to him after? Is he fucking still able to speak?
Yeah.
Because Jesus Christ, you flatlined him.
Yeah, he's a good fellow, Bo Hardis. Coming off that loss, which we're probably talking about, like he was the only guy willing to jump into it. And he hadn't had a fight in quite some time. And credit to him, he jumped straight in. It was a big opportunity. The main event was a world title fight, legit world title fight, and we were the co-main. So I can't believe more people didn't put their hand up to take.
Yeah, fucking nice.
Good on Bo Hardis, but he got the raw end of it. And I have spoken to him after, and they put him on a no-fly sort of thing for 2 days, and then sent him home. But he's happy and healthy. He gets to go see his wife and his kids. And it's just the way it was. He was keen for a fight, and you could tell in the fight he was coming forward. He was aggressive, and he just got caught with a big shot, probably the best one I've ever thrown.
Oh, bro. Well, that's what I was thinking. Is like when you hit that there, like when fucking fist hits the chin, like is that 100% certainty? It's like fucking good night.
When it
for that one specifically,
yeah, when it sounds like that, you see, I stepped back and I walked off. But when you've landed a peach of a shot. There's been a couple of times I've landed good shots and didn't get the reaction I thought I was going to get. Maybe they washed it off a little bit. But when you land a good shot, it just feels nice on your knuckle and the 10-ounce gloves it comes through, and you just know.
It's like a sweet spot.
Especially when I landed that one, I thought, before he hit the ground, I thought, fuck, he ain't getting up. I did the lap, but I was looking for, where's my wife? That's what I was screaming. Where's my wife? It was a good one. Good way to bounce back. So.
Yeah, fucking oath. And we'll gloss over it because I think it is worth fucking mentioning because it is exactly that. It was a great fucking comeback due to the previous fight that happened. And that one, obviously, I saw you before we did the vlog, jumped in and did a bit of sparring with the boys.
Yep.
And that fight was just so gassed up for so long. I kind of already know the fucking answer, but what sort of changed after the result of the fight against Zeraffa? Because it was so gassed up for so long, there was so much emotion involved in it, and then obviously didn't get the result that you wanted. But fuck, how was it bouncing back from that?
Bouncing back was there was a few things I brushed. The prep for Zeraffa was flawless. I got so many good rounds in. I did 40 rounds with Tim Zoo. I had, 10 different sparring partners over the 12 weeks. Variety was really good. And, just going into those last 2 days, me and Blair fly down, and it's normally just us two in our hotel. We do what we have to do. We just hang out. But there was so many. I was getting pulled left and right. Not that that's an excuse. It's a part of it. I had the day of the fight. I had a sponsor meeting, 3 hours before I was leaving to go to the venue. And normally I sleep in the afternoon till 4 o'clock. And I was up meeting these sponsors. It was like, fuck, because I had some sponsors come on board for that fight. It's like I didn't have to do it, but I felt obliged.
You felt obligated to fucking help them out because they're sorting you out.
And even the day before we got there, and my manager said, "Oh, we're going to go to this press conference," and I said, "I'm not fussed about going to the press conference." You know, that was the day of the weigh-in when all that stuff happened. I said, "I'm not really fussed." So push it earlier, like 11, 12 o'clock. Because they wanted to do it at like 2. You know, I would have been cutting weight then.
Fuck
and I said,
that.
I don't want to go to that. And then we were still waiting to get so when you fly away, so you boys are part of my team. We fly away. I get a per diem for each of you guys. You know, you get $80 a day for the 5 days.
I'm holding you to that, by the way. I expect that.
Yeah, so we get that, and you know, I booked different accommodation because I didn't want them to know where I was staying. You know, so well, I paid for all that out of my own pocket first, but they were going to reimburse me, you know.
Yeah.
And going into that press conference, Eddie, my manager, said, "Oh, you know, if we go, we'll make it easier to get the, you know, reimbursement just quick, and we'll get it done there."
Yeah.
And then turned out we had a full punch on, and then we didn't even get our fucking reimbursement till, you know, after the fight. So I was out of pocket a little bit, but just heaps of things. And then the racist thing got said, and that hit a heartstring with me because my wife's of colour. You know, everyone knows now I'm having kids. You know, I didn't know at the time, but I was saying, you know, when I have kids, they'll probably be of colour. I've got to stick up for that. So, you know, but looking back now, I felt like I had a handle of it, and I wasn't emotional because people are, "Oh, you know, how's this going to affect the fight?" It's not going to. Like, I'm a professional. I'm going to fight without the emotion. But you know, subconsciously, I had all that emotion, and I was so wound up. And you know, the last thing I said to my coach before walking out, so I said to him, "I'm gonna walk straight up to this CUNT and punch his head in." And essentially, that's exactly what I did. You know, I walked straight up to him, wasn't throwing a jab or anything.
You were
I was
fucking
trying
swinging,
to bomb him,
cunt.
you know.
Yeah.
And I just had a conversation with someone off my last fight, and he goes, "Holy fuck, you know, I watched your previous fight with Zeraffa and you look slow and sluggish, and was your weight cut shit? It was the best weight cut ever." And then because of the fight with Bo Hardis, I was so whippy and fussy. You had to watch that, you know, knockout punch in slow motion to see it even land.
Yeah, fucking
But the thing is with like boxing, when you're trying to punch so hard, you find it in sparring, you're fucking trying to punch something hard, it comes out slow and shitty, whereas if you're relaxed and boom.
It's like precision beats power almost.
That's right.
Like you were more...
In that fight, I was so wound up and fucking, you know, wanted to get him so bad. I was my own undoing, you know.
Let the emotion...
I let the emotion get to it. But, you know, I learned a good lesson. He was a bit of a veteran with the lead up, and, you know, he niggle me. I thought I had a grasp of it and a handle on it, but I obviously didn't, you know, and that's the beautiful thing about hindsight, I guess. You know, looking back, I thought, fuck, you know, I know how to do this. But I've had a conversation with myself, conversation with Blair, how I'm going to attack moving forward if I get a cheeky bugger, you know, trying to chat shit, how I'm going to go about it.
Fucking
you know?
earth.
And I sort of dropped myself in it, you know, the fight previous to Zeraffa, the Adam Stowe one. I said, if I don't fucking finish him in 5 rounds, I'll shout everyone a beer. You know,
Hold yourself accountable.
You're like, fuck, I want 50,000 beers.
Yeah, that's right. You know, that would have been my paycheck and some. You know, so like I'm a bit of a larrikin. I like to engage with the people, and I just got to find a different way to do that. And you know, in that fight, Blair said to me, "Don't pull your right hand back before you throw it." And the first punch against Adam Stowe went like that. So, you know, try and launch him into him. So
what I was thinking with it is like, to be fair, like if you're asking fucking me, there's no one really in the Australian boxing game that's selling fights the fucking way you are at the moment. There's maybe you guys like, I guess maybe like Kimbose Jr.
Darren Foley's good.
Yeah. It's like some boys do it. And like at the end of the day, there's this thing within Australian sports where it's like the fucking tall poppy syndrome where you can't gas yourself up. And at the end of the day, you're a fucking fighter and you want to sell it. But like, if you don't do the shit you're doing, then like you're not going to sell the fucking numbers. You're not going to be as big as you are, because at the end of the day, the fight gets paid by how many viewers there are, and you're bringing fucking eyes to the screen.
Absolutely, and that's like,
sorry, boys. That's,
we got a call coming.
Cool.
I don't know why that's connected to the phone.
I was actually going to touch on that as one of my questions. Do you think like with the whole popularity and like, say for like a fighter coming in, the more popular, more like, you know, revenue you're going to get, more viewership you're going to get, is that like bad for the sport in terms of like if, say, a normal, like a great boxer, but he's got no personality outside of the ring, is coming up the ranks, but he's getting, you know, like he's getting good fights and he's beating good opponents, but he's got no popularity compared to, say, like a mediocre boxer compared to him, popular, getting the major fights and more money. Like, is that bad for the sport?
No,
or?
I don't, like, you know, I don't think it's bad for the sport. There's going to be a fight at the end of the day. It's good for the guy selling the fight because he gets the pocket, money in his pocket at the end of the day, and the good boxer's sitting there on his hands and not getting nothing. So either way, there's going to be a fight. But I know so many great boxers that don't have the traction I do because they maybe aren't as honest or say what they want to say. It's not that I talk a fair whack of shit, but that's like honesty from me. If I don't like someone, I'm going to say, you're a wanker, and that's not me trying to chat shit or amp up a fight. That's me being, and I think that's the difference with the way I do it and some other people do it, I'm just being honest. That's the best policy in my book, because if I say I don't like this guy, the next minute I'm talking to him, it's like, oh, fuck you.
Yeah, keep that same energy.
Yeah.
That's right, and I have always done that. Even from, I was a bit of a bad guy at the start because I was an MMA guy coming across and I was so vocal. They're like, fuck, who's this MMA guy? He doesn't know how to box. I've never had an amateur boxing fight, and I was so vocal, calling out these people. So why don't you fight me? You think I'm just an MMA fighter, come prove I am. And, that's how I got so much traction. I've been on Foxtel since my 4th fight. So, man, I'm in the position I am today because I think my personality and I am vocal, and I can punch like fuck. So,
Fucking oath.
Also, I could imagine you train hard. You've talked this shit. That makes you want to train harder. You're like, I can't go out and lose now. I've already said it. You're in the gym, thinking about, I got to hold myself accountable to the stuff I've claimed to say. 100%. That's driving you,
And I know some people that, almost put built-in excuses in their fight camp.
Yeah.
Oh, my leg's a bit sore.
My
hand is because you get to the end, maybe it doesn't come off your way. Oh, my hand was fucked the whole fight. Whereas I'll say I'm going to bang you out by the
losing's
end of the
not an option.
That's right. And then that's a driving force too, 100%. I agree.
So you reckon, in future, with obviously, because to me, when I was watching all, because I was fucking so enthralled in all of it the whole week leading up, Melbourne did seem like a bit of a fucking shit show in the grand scheme of leading up to a fight. Would you say that if you had another fight of that caliber again and you were going outside of Brizzy, that you would maybe just try and steer clear of all the fucking obligations and shit like that, where you don't have to get your fucking head in the wrong way when you should just be fucking in on the fight? Would you change it, or would you be like, fuck it, I'll just handle the exact same way better next time?
That's a good question. I even now I wouldn't take back the result. I am who I am, and I did what I did, and I feel like I'm better for that, taking that L so early on a big stage. But the production side, I feel like another big fight, I'm going to be back on Foxtel. I stepped off my platform to go fight on a fucking website, No one's doing that. Tim Zoo's not doing that. Honey's not doing that. No one's getting off this awesome platform in Fox Sports and going to fight on a web link where they get no traction.
And smoking the cunt.
Yeah, I just wanted the fight, and that's who I am. At the end of the day, it's about fighting and testing myself. And Michael Zeraffa is a good boxer, and I knew that. I got off my platform. So, when another big fight comes, I won't change a thing. I'll have to go do it because it'd be likely to be on Fox Sports or pay-per-view.
Yep.
But in saying that, I ain't ever jumping off of my platform to go fucking fight on a website link ever again, because it just doesn't sit well with me. The production's terrible. There's no organisation. It's geared up in their favour, whereas Foxtel, it's a fucking national production,
So when you say the big leagues, you're fucking
and that's where
number
I feel
2 in
like
the
I belong.
fucking country right now.
So, I just won't jump off my platform to go get a fight done. They said that fight could have happened within a year, if I didn't take it then. He'll be back on Foxtel within the 6 months and a year. I said, oh, fuck that, I want it now.
Yep.
And that was me being who I am and a fighter at heart. And I wonder, if I was to wait 12 months, I probably got that done on Fox Sports, and it would have been way safer. They wouldn't have had 60 people in the fucking weigh-in venue against me and my coach. It would have been proper security there, which there wasn't. It just would have been a little bit better, but I feel like I'm a better man for it anyway. So
fucking
it's a win-win on me.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And what's the go with Zeraffa now? Did you have any conversation with him after or anything like that? Is the beef still fucking alive or?
Yeah, that's what he says. We're mates now. He reached out to me the day after, and I was, yeah, thanks, mate. I appreciate it, which I do. I appreciate him as an athlete, but he's a shit person, bro. I just don't even rate him. What goes around comes around. He's a fucking, there's some things in the background that's happened, the whole playing the racist card. You're a fucking shit.
So I missed that. I don't want to. You don't have to repeat exactly what he said, but what
Bro,
roughly was he saying?
He called me a racist in front
Didn't
of
you just
everyone.
ask about his fucking last name or some shit?
No, bro, he called me a racist. You're a racist. You're a racist. And in front of everyone, I said, you know, an accusation these days is as bad as the, you know, doing it, you know.
And this is the day of the fight, eh? Like,
the day before the weigh-in. And that just fucking boiled me. And, yeah, you know, his coach... we're not mates, man. Like,
it seems
no
like
way I'd sit here and have a beer with Michael Zeraffa. He's a fucking shit person. Like, there's things like now, you know, there's a charge on my coach at the moment because an assault charge because of the day. I don't know if I should be saying it, but this will probably come out a little bit later. But
no one important's going to fucking listen to this.
You know, he's due to go to court because fucking they're pressing charges on him for the day of the weigh-in bingle, you know, whereas I got bottles thrown on me. We got kicked down the fucking stairs. You know, the stairs like out of that venue because it was upstairs. Blair got kicked in the back down the stairs. Someone jumped out in front of him and spat on him.
So what's the deal with that? How does that even
happen?
happen?
That's where the punch-on started, you know, and like on our way out, I grabbed him and I said, tell everyone why I'm a racist. And he didn't. He kept saying, you're a racist.
Yeah, that's the key to someone that doesn't know what the fuck they're talking about.
I grabbed him and I said, you know, and then there was that shit. Blair come running in to break it up and Blair said, let's get out of here. I said before that, they said, we'll get a face-off. I said, I don't recommend that. We do that. You know? And I grabbed him. He threw the punches. I went flying in, threw a punch, and Blair grabbed me. He said, let's get the fuck out of here. It was us two, you know, in a room. There would have been 40, 50 people there. Back and Zeraffa, you know, they're all, none of my crew.
Why is it all his guys? Is it like his promotion team?
Well, bro, it was in Melbourne.
Yeah, okay,
It was his coach's promotion.
Yeah, so that's what you're saying about like the independent website. It was all through Zeraffa's team.
Yep, so it's like, you know, me and Blair gearing up to fight someone on our promotion. It's geared up in their way. And, you know, Blair got spat on the way out and by a guy that stood out in front of us.
And Blair's the fucking nicest, like most humble, and then respected boxing coach.
Yeah,
like.
he did his thing and we got like tumbled out there. As we were walking down the stairs, someone kicked him in the back. You know, it was fucked, you know. So now he's trying to press charges, you know, him, his coach, and the other bloke. You know?
It seems very like, you know, like they, you know, racist remarks and stuff. That's obviously going to go to the news.
Bro, so
that's going to go to the news. Global remark, like, you know,
he was
hyping
just
it up.
recently here at the No
and doing
Limit
all that
show
shit.
with Justin Hodges for, and then apparently he was at the show. Apparently, because we got a call saying Zeraffa's saying he's fearing for his life being around close to you guys. What the fuck? He's a
fucking
shit. You reap what you sow. You're a shit. I know I go to bed at the end of the day and I know I'm a good person. He'll get what's coming to him. And it's just turned out Sam LeBrun has had a heart attack. You know?
Will you get another shot at him?
I will. I'll got to earn it. He's doing what he's doing against Falco. So, you know, go get that done. But I'll put myself back in the position to punch his head in. I'll get it done right this time. Yeah. Next time.
Definitely.
Yeah. So, like, as well, like, I guess now, what's fucking coming up next? Like, who is on?
Wait up. Hold on. He's trying to pull me, son. I brought you guys. I'll get him out there.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Present.
That's the thing. So
I seen this here.
Vodka soda.
For those,
I think I
those listening,
peeked in the bag earlier. I wasn't meant to. I was a kid on Christmas.
I'll try hook him up.
For those listening, fucking, I copped the ominous message.
Oh, yeah.
Let's fucking go.
Tequila sodas. Fuck yeah.
Sorry, before we got here, Hardman messaged me.
Nah, he looks after me. He's got the deal with squad and he does
I haven't met him yet, but apparently he's a fucking legend.
Oh, bro.
I've got a few.
I fucking love tequila. Love tequila.
Because we got a Hardman hard cut.
Oh, shit.
I just messaged these cunts like the other day. I was like, you got to send us a bottle like ASAP. And they, as you walked in, they fucking antagonist messaged me and they're like, fuck, we just missed this.
Yes.
Bro, that is
bourbon. That is fucking.
Can you get some glasses for that?
This is good as.
Well.
What is it? Is it bourbon?
Bro, gin.
Yeah, they're fucking really good.
Yeah, it's gin, brother. It's
like slow gin or something.
Pull that bad boy in front of your face again. The mic.
It's gin. It's unreal. So
is this available in stores? Or
it's coming to an end. There was a small batch distillery in Melbourne. And they made a batch of it.
Fuck yeah!
This is
so
the first
sick,
bottle I
dude.
got. That's why it's half because had one after my fight, so that's the first
That's a
one
prototype.
on run, and that's for you boys.
Oh,
fucking
okay. I
brilliant,
fucking
man.
love
I've
the
got
gym.
one more
That's staying
bottle
on the
that
set.
I'll
Keep it away from this cunt.
give to my
Yeah.
kid when he or she turns 18 and
Oh,
have to fight me.
Preserve it.
Fucking oath, dude.
So
Should we
there
give it a
you go.
little? Yeah, we should give it a little
Yeah.
fucking go.
Taste
Yeah, give it
test,
a whirl.
yeah.
You got to get some tonic water. I was going to bring some Indian tonic, but
Fuck
I
it.
thought we're
No,
at
we
a
can
pub,
mix it.
they'll be able
You
to.
can shot the gin.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's actually swing it here. It's
Have a
actually
swig.
really easy to.
It's
drink.
smooth.
like slow or something because it's
Yeah,
red.
have a sip of it, like because it's not even dirty to like.
Should we
sip.
just fucking drink out of the bottle?
smells good, like
Yeah,
that, bro.
it's like not harsh. It's beautiful, and it's not like that burny taste.
So how the
That's
fuck
good.
how did this come about originally?
Well, my manager went to school with this guy, and he just said, "Let's do a head splitter."
Oh
gym."
fuck yeah, this shit's
Yeah.
actually gun cunt.
Yeah. So it's nice.
Not normally a big gin guy. I do like a gin
Yeah,
and
mate,
tonic
mate,
guy.
that shit-
It's
Yeah.
really smooth.
I'm not a G&T guy, and that's
pink gin.
fucking gun.
Yeah, so
I'll get around that. That's fucking dope.
it's not too harsh going down. It's not like a Mishka vodka or something like that. It's not.
Yeah, yeah.
So there you go, boys. That's a gift from the head.
Fucking
fuck it.
oath.
Appreciate
Cheers,
that.
brother.
The podcast.
We'll have to rebrand it 6 gins deep.
16
Six
seconds.
gins, Steve.
Well, we can't. We got to fucking be careful with how we mix it. So we did 6 espresso martinis deep, and that's
Also,
whatever.
it never came out.
It never
so-
came out. Dude,
Sorry.
like $300 on fucking each
On martinis.
espresso martinis. Anyway, back to the fucking punch on
Thank you. That
chat.
was fucking beautiful.
Yeah. So who the fuck is on the menu for you right now, cunt?
Man, not sure. Like, there's talks to that Andre guy. You know.
Yep.
He just fought Thursday night in New Zealand on the DNL show. And man, have a look at the post-fight interview. He was so upset with it. I messaged the guy he fought. I said, I hope you didn't get a stiff decision. And he said, I don't know what the fuck's going on in this boxing world, but I thought I'd done enough to win. And so he got gifted a decision. He would be a good fight next, but I don't know if he'll get it done. You know, I don't know if he's in a position to. You know, I said his name because he said my name 3 times previous to that, and I come off that big win. But he hadn't fought anyone, and when he did last night, look, I'll get the footage soon, and I'll be I'll judge it for myself. But you know, he hasn't fought any winners. The guy previous that he fought was 33-3 with 28 knockouts, but that bloke was knocking over tin cans. You know, he was fighting debutants. So
Yeah.
I'd like to. Everyone knows about the Andre Hardman fight would be big. You know, I think maybe if he gets another fight, wins well, I get another fight, win well, we can build it up to be a bigger fight. You know, as a pay-per-view.
Definitely.
Whereas if we burn that fight right now, we both only make a little bit. You know, so you know, there's no one really left here in Australia for me. You know, there's Zeraffa, but
Well, that's what I was going to
it.
say. Like, are you starting to get? At what point do the offers start coming through with overseas shit? Because that's where I'm sure the fucking big bucks are. I'm sure you're keen to get the fuck
and
over
I've
there
already
and whoop some cunts.
had the offer. Like Eddie Hearn's coming in September. He's DM'd me on Instagram. So,
Oh, hectic.
That's insane.
And like that's a September show. You know, I'm contracted to DNL, but I'm allowed to fight out of the contract as long as Dean approves it, which I don't see why he wouldn't. You know, it's good for me. At the
Yep.
end of the day, and it's good for
Good for him.
he's brand, he's fighter. He maybe co-promote it, you know. So Eddie Hearn knows who I am. You know, I'm number 10 with the IBF still, you know, and I'm number 19 all over in the world on the box rec. So
That's-
maybe some imports, you know, like this Andre guy gets. You know, Andre's signed with DNL as well.
Is he
And
an Aussie?
He's a New Zealand
yeah,
Russian,
yeah.
so he's Russian, but he
Yeah.
was adopted as a child and went into New Zealand, so
Yeah.
he's a New Zealander. And so maybe some imports that he gets, you know, Dean's got the money to bring these guys over. So there's no one left in Australia, so we'll get like maybe a South American or something like that. Or if another Australian, you know, my Australian title just got fought for 2 weeks.
This episode of the After Party Podcast was brought to you by our proud sponsors and good friends, the Lad Collective. Isaac, you're very familiar with this fucking brand. You had their towels in the corner of your own fights. That's how much you trust this fucking brand. And look, the thing is, we're talking about it earlier, blokes don't know how to do their sheets, but I know you for a fucking fact actually like to take a lot of the household duties under your
Yes,
belt.
I do.
You love a fucking mown lawn.
Yep.
You love a fucking good feed, and Javille's been pretty fucking up and down on the scores lately. I'm pretty off that. The headies just went on that, but fuck it, I don't care. But mate, are you making the bed?
Yeah, and it's easy too with those pull-on straps, the zippers, baby. Let's go, easy as pie. Get around it.
Fucking nice. So buy fucking Lad Collective sheets. You get $20 off your first order if you use the code AFP20, and I promise you, you'll be fucking sleeping easy. If you won't, Hardman will fucking make you go to sleep. Fucking honestly, Zeraffa should buy these sheets because one day he'll be fucking sleeping tight in them. Promise you that. Back to the pod. 5 points in the most fucking fight I've ever seen. Yeah. So with that, Max sort of asked it earlier. What are your thoughts? Because I guess in the States, the biggest thing right now is all the bullshit with fucking Jake Paul and all the rest of them.
Yeah.
Do you think it's good in my perspective is like guys like Jake Paul and stuff, at least he's knocking dudes out. You know what I mean? Like he's not getting these bullshit little point fights. He's fighting Tyron Woodley, who, if anyone fucking understands combat sports, actually pretty hectic win. Yeah. So like, my question to you is like, do you think for this, like how good boxing, like the progression of it in Australia, do you reckon having these sort of celebrity fights, if you will, are good value for the sport? Or do you think it's just taking away time from guys who actually fucking train and get in the ring and work it full time?
I reckon it's good in a way. Like they call themselves professional boxers, but they fight 2-minute rounds. Like fucking what? Fucking 3-minute round. You know, they're wearing 10-ounce gloves, yes, but don't put it as the co-main event. Like get it there. Like, and I think for the sport, like, because people, you know, you go out with your mates to the fight, we will miss the first 3 fights because they're just the early ones. You know, put the fucking superstar football player on early. It'll get everyone there, and then to showcase the actual boxing talent. That worked so hard to be here for shit money, you know. Whereas these guys getting banged.
It was fucking 2 weeks out he started training.
Banged. So and it was a dog shit performance, and like don't put it on. But I guess, you know, in this country, boxing's, you know, behind the 8 ball, and it's coming up now. But with media exposure and stuff like that, we don't get the attention as, you know, golfers get more attention than boxing, you know. So yeah, it's good in its way, but I don't like how they get all the glory over the actual boxers and they get paid way more than
That'd be the thing, like I'd say, like they do get a bit more glory, but from like my understanding, like what I've been watching combat sports, obviously watched boxing like when I was a kid and stuff, and then got into UFC a lot, and that's blown up, and you know, everyone in that, like man, their dog will be at the pub on Sunday to watch the UFC fights, and then now it's slowly coming back. I feel like the celebrity fights a little bit are bringing back like major event fights as well. Because in the
yeah, for sure they have their place. I feel, but at least fucking train. Like Paul Gallen's a different story. Like
mate, Paul Gallen's number 4 heavyweight in the country now.
He can I fought on Paul Gallen Hopewadi undercard, and that's how I got signed because Dean Lonigan was there. You know, that's Paul Gallen is a big reason why Tim Zhu was the pay-per-view star is because he was the undercard, you know, the co-main to Paul Gallen co-main. But Paul Gallen can fight like all fuck. You know, so can Sonny Bill, so can Barry Hall. You know, these guys they can actually, they've had an amateur background. Don't just pluck a fucking old centre from the Broncos out, and you know, and Ben Hannett who couldn't fight his way out of a wet paper bag. You know?
Fucking right. He's like
and they are
68 and
you know,
500 kilos.
I've had the conversation with people in the gym that annoys me is like, I could play footy as a kid. I played good level footy, you know. If I finish up boxing, I can't just put my hand up and say, hey, fucking let me play second, you know, 5'8" for the Broncos. I used to be awesome.
Let me run on.
Yeah, because I was a world champion or whatever, you know. I can't just put my hand up and play, you know, whereas they can. It's
it's a bit ridiculous. Like with Origin, now there's all these reports and stuff of apparently Matt Burton and Dane Gagai having a boxing match. That's where I draw the line. I'm like, you had a fucking, like, you know, a little biff in rugby. You don't need to fucking go to a boxing match.
Like come
you don't fight.
Come for the name, stay for the boxers. Like bring people in with the names, but celebrate. Like have the main be like, these are the actual technical skilled guys. You know, we got these names at the start. That'll be a fun little way to open it up. And you want to see some real boxing, watch these guys.
Say that. Like No Limit did a show end of last year called the Boxing Bash. They had like a night on the Friday night was all the boxers, and on the Saturday night was like the footy guys. It was like back-to-back shows. And Paul Gallen come out and said, none of you guys were here yesterday when all the boxers were on. You know, it's pathetic. So,
it's respect.
I really get around how you're saying, like, put that fight on first because
I
we
think-
went to the UFC in Melbourne and we were there like first undercard, like preliminary fight.
Yeah,
and everyone was as well. Like the whole stadium,
these are
Marvel
fucking-
Stadium full.
Yeah.
And then you look at these like pay-per-view fights boxing in Australia, it'll be like 3 fights to go on the main event and it's still like 3/4 empty.
Empty, that's
yeah.
right,
And I'm
yeah,
like, what are these? Why would you buy a ticket to go for a main event? Like I know me and probably Andy and Connor as well. Like we'll be there. Like you're spending the money. I want to see everything.
Everything.
Yeah,
absolutely.
fucking oath. Well, that's just like us. We're different,
Yeah.
bro. Every fucking Sunday, it doesn't matter.
just
Like,
love seeing
unfortunately,
blood.
mate, I love organised violence. If there's a referee there, sign me the fuck up.
Yes.
I love it. Unfortunately, whoever my future misso is, whoever agrees to fucking have sex with me for the rest of my life, has to understand that Sunday is fight day, and that is fucking happening no matter what.
That's good.
So, but speaking of fucking celebrating actual boxers, not the fucking pumps that did it in the fucking round before. Nikita Zoo in the ring against is it Ben Horn? Yeah.
Yep.
Fuck, I thought that was a dope fight. Like at least like just the sale of it as well. Like you got 2 boxing legends, little brothers, fucking cracking on.
Yep.
But word on the street is that Nikita Zoo is actually a bit of a fucking nutcase.
Yeah.
Like not in the bad way, as in like a boxing sense. Like he can go to some fucking dark places. Because you train with Timmy.
Yep.
So have you seen much of Nikita, and what do you reckon he's got coming up?
I think he's a great talent, and that last name, speaks volumes of their talent. You come from that last name, you're expected to know how to fight, and he can fight like fuck. But with that fight, the Ben Horn, and I must admit, I said, fuck, he'd be lucky to see the end of the third. I know Ben Horn is an awkward guy. So he's fought one, a mate of mine has a same opponent as Ben Horn, and he beat him. So, and my mate's good. So I knew it was going to be tough, but I didn't think he'd do it like that. So it was a good fight. Nikita Zoo, though, he'll go all the way. But people forget, like, Nikita, that was his 3rd professional fight. Ben's had 9 or something. So everyone online was just like, Nikita Zoo's going to blast him in one round, But Ben's been around and he's fought,
he was
had
paying
hard
like $12.
Yeah.
Like he was very long shot.
Like, I think that was a little bit disrespectful in the sense that everyone just wrote Ben off. I did too a little bit. I was like, you'd be lucky to see the third. But he come out and won a lot of fans, I think, and put on a hell of a fight. And right at the end, he hurt Nikita, and I think Nikita was lucky it wasn't an 8-rounder, maybe.
You reckon he could have got him if it went a bit deeper?
Yeah, he buckled him at the end of the 6th round. So you never know, but Nikita got the job done. I think he'll go on to do really good things. And like you said, he goes to dark places when he gets in there. He's got that sort of, you listen to the stories of the Zoo family, like, Costa was a bit of a drill sergeant when it comes to that, and they're that half Russian mad,
Is it possible to fight his brother? Like, are they in the same weight class? Like,
They
is that
are
a
at
thing?
the moment, but I think it looks like they're going to move Nikita down to 66 welterweight.
Yeah.
But no way would they fight each other.
Really?
Nah, I don't reckon,
It's
man.
not-
I feel like there's guys that like you just fucking know you're not gonna fight.
yeah.
Like, well, actually, speaking of, I guess like you're always training with fucking Timmy. I'd imagine that'd be fucking awesome, like the best insight.
Oh, yeah.
Would like anything? Like, are you guys the same weight class? I fucking forget.
Well,
but like,
he's 69, I'm 72 and a half, so like
Yep.
2.5, 3 kilos separates us. But for
how much
sure,
do those 3 kilos fucking matter?
Man, some people have said, you can make 69. I'm like, there's no fucking way. 69. No way. When I'm in the bath doing my weight cut, I'm not going, because the whole Eddie Hearn thing, he wanted me to come down to 71 and a half, like
Yep.
a catch weight fight against Ben Mahoney.
Yeah.
He's a big name in the Gold Coast, and I thought, I'll have to talk to my nutritionist first. I'm keen for a good fight, and he's fought up at 72 before, but my nutritionist, he works with Israel Adesanya, Brad Riddell, all these guys. His name's
Quite
big name, yeah.
Yeah, really good. And he said, holy fuck, mate, that means you'll have to be sitting around day to day about 78 kilos instead of 84, 83. So it just wouldn't happen.
That's a big change, like just for such a a small drop compared to the weight you're actually walking around at.
Yeah,
in
fucking
fight
nice.
week, I walk into fight week at 78 and a half kilos, and then
And you
in
fight
that
at
week-
72.
Fight at 72. So in that week, I moved
Jesus.
5.5 kilos of fluid, make the weight in the bath, weigh in. I'm only over 72 and a half kilos for about 30 minutes, weigh in. weigh in and then do my rehydration protocol, and I'm back.
Not sure if you've
for that night, I'm 83 kilos. Back
not,
in 3
not
hours.
The scene like Chris Cyborg on like UFC, like all those videos and
terrible. That is honestly the worst part of the sport.
Dangerous.
Oh, there's like a video of Chris Cyborg when she's like
crying.
Yeah, she's like full. Almost like spasming,
it's
crying.
And Chris Cyborg is a fucking animal, dude. So she's crying, cunt.
Yeah,
and think about how many weight cuts she's done in her life, like that.
She's in a bath, in like hot water with the steam on stuff, and then gets out. Then she goes straight into like a my hike.
Towels over,
rub towels over it, and she's like crying, like essentially like pleading, going like, I don't want to do this anymore. And they're like, you have to do it. Like you literally have to do it. Like,
it really is it's a necessary evil.
So how come you have to be so much heavier to like, why does your walking around weight have to be like 5 or 6 kilos more than your fighting weight?
It doesn't have to. It's just,
is that the most
only way you can lose
the
only way you can lose that extra weight is water weight, fluid weight. So that's why like he's probably, not saying fucking speak on your behalf, but I would imagine that like when you're rocking into fight week, you're already fucking pretty skinny.
Yeah. I'm coming down, but like, right now I'm 84.5 kilos.
Yeah, shit. Okay, so that's just your natural like.
Weight, that's what I walk around. I'm healthy. I'm not fat. I'm in shape. I did 8 rounds of sparring, but the thing with it, if I don't cut weight, I'm fighting guys that the closest weight division to 82, 83 kilos is 79. That's light heavyweight. Those guys are coming down from 90 kilos though. So imagine that frame.
It's all about where they're coming from.
Your size, you'd be 90 something kilos.
Yeah, 96.
Yeah.
What
so
a
like
fucking
that
good
frame's
day.
coming down to 71. There's no way. So I'm going to suck down to 72 and fight. And I'm like, I have advantages there. I'm a big middleweight there, longer, and that all comes into it. So it's a necessary evil.
Yeah, it always confused me because I see McGregor and I'm like, dude, he's fighting at 70 kilos, like 68 kilos. I'm like, dude, I weigh slightly more than him, but that's not my
blow up.
If you're a 70 kilo guy,
I could fight at like 65.
Or 62, you could probably, it's as soon as you walk into a gym, more MMA, the MMA culture, the big cutting weight, boxing not so much. If you're 80 kilo guy, all right, you'll fight at 70 kilos.
Yeah, okay,
Is it more of like do you have a choice in it? Or is it,
for sure, absolutely, yeah.
But like they've got, obviously coaches and professionals would go, we think you should be here. And then
for
get
sure.
you to that
my
point.
whole plan when I come over to boxing off MMA, because I used to cut to 70 kilos in MMA from about 80 kilos, a little bit younger then, but now I sit around 83, 84. Cut to 72.5. I wanted to fight at 76.8, which is super middleweight. And Blair was like, he let me get away with it once, but those guys are just big, bigger, longer. And he's like, if you want to do well and have the most things, chips, stacked in your favour, we need to go to 72.5. And I'm big there, and I punched like a cunt down there. So, that's just what it is. But you definitely have a choice.
What do you think of?
I was going to say, speaking of fucking saunas, I DM'd you about this. Like, this is fucking ages. It was right after we did the first pod.
Yeah.
And but we never spoke about it in person. But we did the pod, you and me, and like fucking comes out, and heaps of people fucking saw it. It was actually a fucking great app. And then like 2-3 weeks after, I'm down at my gym, and I'm like, go into the sauna, and there's usually a couple of other cunts down there, and I hear this fucking Irish guy popping off, and I'm like, what the fuck?
I know.
Yeah, bro. He's talking up about how fucking good it is, boxing, yada, yada, yada. And then he's like, and then he sees, I'm walking to the fucking sauna, and we're like kind of yarning, and then he's like kind of like looks at me, and he's like, wait a second, like, I fucking just saw you like 2 weeks ago interviewing Hardman, and it was Dennis Hogan.
Yeah,
and
he's
you
a fucking flea. He's a little termite, that bloke.
So I'm in a fucking sauna 2 weeks after. I just met you.
I'd back you to punch him out.
Slippery wrestling. But he was like, you did the fucking interview with him. Like, tell him I'll fuck him up. I'll get on the phone. All this sort of shit. Fucking oath. But I was like, how the fuck is this happening, cunt? Like, I'm in a fucking sauna.
So vulnerable.
And now I'm like having a fucking squabble with a pro boxer.
Nah, you'd pump
defending
him. I'd
Headsplitter.
in a sauna fight, you beat me. 10 ounces on in a boxing ring with a ref, he probably tappers you to a decision. But in a fucking, get him down Caxton's fucking car park.
Straight spear tackle.
Leave his ass, fucking
little flea.
kill everybody. Yeah, I'll fucking take him to the
Little
ground.
leprechaun.
Oh, mate, well, fucking speaking of UFC, I saw a little post this week, and mate, it looked like you were semi-keen to maybe dip the toe back into the MMA fucking community. And for those that don't know, you were, what, 11-0 in MMA?
9-0 in MMA.
9-0, Aussie fucking lightweight
3
champ.
times.
Yeah, how many belts do you have at the time?
3 Australian titles.
3
in MMA.
fucking Aussie titles.
XFC?
XFC and
AFC.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then... obviously, you were offered a UFC contract for, was it Holly Holm Rousey in Melbourne?
Yep. And that
then-
was the weekend that, it was that one or was another one, could have been a different one, but it was the same weekend that Paul Gallen and Hopewadi fought, and I'd already committed to that. And they come in a week and a half and message Adrian and said, can Isaac make 70 kilos? And that was my comeback fight off rupturing my ACL, and I still want to do MMA then at that point.
Yeah, but boxing was an easier.
Blow the cobwebs out. And I fought that fight at light heavyweight, 79 kilos, so I didn't cut any weight. There's no way I was going to cut all that weight, get in the UFC, have a bad
light heavyweight
weight
at
cut.
UFC?
Yeah.
Jeez.
Sean Shelby emailed Adrian Pang. Sean Shelby's one of the matchmakers. Said, is Isaac ready? Could he make 70 kilos for this date? And I'd love to, but I want to get this fight done. Blow the cobwebs out, coming off an injury, and then we can reassess it. And just never come back around. But I had committed to boxing by then. But that door isn't closed yet. I'll go do what I want to do in boxing and do that. But for sure, I want to get to 9-0. I can't finish in 9-0. That's an odd number. I need that 31-0.
Khabib's got a challenger.
Man, the way I look at it is like when I win my world title in boxing, because I know I'm good enough to do that. I've got the background of an MMA fighter. I can wrestle. I can throw up submissions.
That's where I originally saw you, was fucking MMA. Yeah.
And I look at it, and then I've got my boxing world title. No one's done it the other way. Conor McGregor come over to boxing, but his ass handed to him. James Toney went and fought Randy Couture way back in the day. James Toney was a weapon back in the day, but he got put on his back and just humped by Randy Couture. Whereas I know how to look after myself in an MMA fight.
Honing the boxing skills.
It would be massive, and I could just imagine. Like Canelo Alvarez, if he had an MMA background and he just puts his hand up one day and said, I want to go fight in the UFC, Dana would be all
the biggest
over
fucking
fucking huge. And that's like legacy type of stuff, So that's, I want to do, I got to accomplish what I need to in boxing, and then, on the way out, maybe another cash cow, put my hand up and get that 10th victory.
You're probably the first like that I can. Then straight to the barn fighting. You're probably the first person I can think of that's gone like. Probably there's like people out there, but gone like MMA
successful in both.
And then gone like kill it in boxing to come over.
Who's weirdly fucking murdering it right now in that exact same thing? Anderson Silva cunt.
Yeah. And his kids.
His
Oh yeah, his kids are fucking nightmares as well. Yeah.
But even that, he's still like jiu-jitsu, MMA, and then now he's gone to boxing. But it's interesting for you
I think
to
he
go.
had a fair bit of like kickboxing, amateur boxing background. But I've not had an amateur boxing fight ever. My amateur career was I fought 3 guys in one night in a tough man competition,
Yeah.
Beat them all. So.
3 guys one night.
One night, yeah.
So they don't do that.
Just keep
not at one time, but
that's a Russia. You definitely need to go to Russia.
That's like a tournament where they have like I think I heard of that.
Fuck
where
that
it's like
shit.
You fight one, you win, and you go have a rest and fight another guy. That was like my amateur boxing career. So,
Fucking how's that go? Like.
Well, that's the thing. I upset the scene so hard when I come over is because you got to do your apprenticeship in the amateurs. I didn't give a fuck about the amateurs. I still don't rate it. I feel like it's a different sport to pro boxing. So that's why I upset the scene because I hadn't done my apprenticeship and I was calling all these guys names that had 100 amateur fights and I was beating them and they're like, fuck, what is this guy doing? Upsetting the scene. So, I don't rate amateur boxing really. I like the dedication to do it and fight.
It's necessary, but it's fucking...
And like those guys are better than me. I wouldn't be doing all that training, not get paid anything. Like, fuck.
Do you think you were able to do that because of your UFC? Like, you already kind of paid your dues as a UFC fighter? Like,
I feel not UFC fighter,
MMA fighter.
But like it's a fight at the end of the day. That's how I look at it. It's 2 men competing, fighting each other.
Yeah.
And I had done
Yeah, if you
I
got
had
XFC
plenty-
and an AFC
So, yeah,
belt,
man, I had
you know,
9 professional MMA fights. I had 4 amateur ones, so that's 14. And I had 3 kickboxing fights. I fought in Thailand kickboxing. So I had like a fair few fights,
under the belt.
you know, as my apprenticeship before I come over to boxing. So that's how I was fighting. I've been fighting for a long time, you know, since 2015. People just see the fact that I popped off in 2019 in boxing, and they're, fuck, he's only been here for 2 years. Why's he got all this traction and stuff? And I've been doing it for a long time.
Paid your dues.
Yeah.
Bro, with that as well, like I've just come back to footy recently. I used to play a fuckload of footy, and if I have a fucking good game, dude, and I'm fucking murdering it that day, I'm coming off the field, get a couple beers in me, and I'm like, let's fucking go. Like a bit gassed up, the ego's kind of going a little bit. Talk me through fucking winning 3 fights in a night, because if that was me, the fucking Caxton would be burned to the ground. I'd be going absolutely nuts. What do you reckon your best like post-fight celebration night would have been? Like, where you're just like, fucking oath, this was just like
Man, I've been brought up around really good heads. Like in my MMA careers, it was Adrian Pang, and then Blair Studley's always been there. He was sort of essentially my striking coach when I was doing MMA. But they'd always have a real punch 2 litres of water into me before I finished a fight, and they'd always be how many beers you had, sort of thing. So I'd never get charged
All business.
after the fight, because you're so wound up, but you're freakishly tired because of all the adrenaline, and you can't sleep.
Yeah.
So I never go out after the fight, really, even when I was young. But actually, speaking of those drinks, I went out after the E-Man fight with Brian.
And that's Vodka Soda, and by the way, fucking thanks for sponsoring the fucking potty.
Gerard Yaoyi and one of the other, Jarrah, the native seed guys, and he took all the drink to the fucking ex-cargo, and we got buckled. It was the worst time of my life. I was drinking these little hand grenades trying to keep up with these footy boys who are big boys.
Yeah.
I had
That
2
was after a
cruises and
fight?
flat on my ass. Oh, like a week after the E-Man fight.
Okay.
We had a little thing, Nitro Fight Night. We always went out after it, and I went with those boys trying to keep up with them. Every time I look back at the table, there was 17 fucking vodka sodas. What's going on? It was the worst 2 days after my life.
Scared of them now.
Again, but
I'm telling you, next fucking Brisbane fight where you're like, you know what, fucking like afterwards we can actually play a little bit.
Yeah, it's always the weekend after.
You're coming here and we're fucking setting it off.
No cameras,
this is the after party here. We're going fucking nuts.
See, we could do that. The next one's in Brisbane, October, so let's
I might be in Canada at that point.
I can imagine if you were to go out after a fight, that hangover, like I get a headache
from watching.
Fighting, then drinking, then fucking waking up, just like, bro, like that would be the worst.
This episode of the After Party Podcast is brought to you by our fucking good friend, professional rugby player, Reds player, now actually in England, Northampton, St. Gustaf, Angus Scott Young's brand. He rocks these bad boys. He's made his own vintage t-shirt company for rugby union apparel. Don't look like a fucking loser at the footy wearing your jersey. You look like a gimp, because when you're back at the cackle after trying to hit on the bird, she's going to think you're a fucking virgin and you're obsessed with fucking the Broncos way too much. Wear something that looks a little bit better. Don't wear these shoes, for instance, because I've been copping that much shit. Dress up, look tight, look fresh, and maybe you'll get some poon as well with these bad boys. Fucking $50 a pop at stgustaf.com.au or follow him on Instagram at St. Gustaf. Back to the pod.
And you got your teammates, whereas I'll
solo sport.
most of the time go and hang out with Blair, rewatch the fight, have a few gins. And, that's about it. So
a question I had, I always think when you see UFC boxing fight and it goes to decision, but they're just pummeled. Like, are you obviously, you cop a few shots and stuff. That night, he said, you can't sleep and you got all this adrenaline going through. Are you feeling the pain, or is it you're feeling the pain? But
Post-fight would be it's the same as a rugby game as well.
Compared to waking up the next morning, are you going you're waking up the next morning going, oh fuck,
Yeah, I've had some fights in MMA and that, like where I've thrown kicks and caught an elbow or something, and like in the fight it's nothing, whereas 2-3 hours over you're laying in bed or you wake up the next day hobbling, it's like fuck, I went through the walls.
Yeah, so I can't even imagine obviously if you get a good win you can have a couple of drinks, but then when it kicks in,
how did you feel? How did you feel after we fucking
getting kicked in the leg with shin guards on?
So we were trained down at Compton MMA, yeah. And then I got Maxi to come down, and the fucking you get the leg pads on. There was like a bit of a gap like in the fucking between the foot and the shin there, and he just kept kicking my elbow every time, and he was like, "Fuck!"
I don't miss those days. They jarring your toes on elbows. It's fucked.
It's cool.
I'm pretty sure we were going way too hard for like what, because it's like obviously done double and stuff and here and there, and we go in the guy like. It's very that gym was like it was good, but it was very like straight to the point.
Oh, fuck it! My first session there, Elliot Compton, fucking psycho, goes, everyone in the cage, and I'm like, oh fuck, oh no, and then it was like one of the blokes like last day at the gym or whatever, he had to fuck off to a new job or Sydney or some shit, and he was like, everyone's fighting him, and we had like one of our mates, Duncan, who like he's fucking 50 kilos dripping wet, and he never fucking done any. It was like his first session, did a little bit of BJJ in the cage, and he's sparring with this guy, and Duncan's just getting like. Fucking belted in, but it's a good way to get into it. But mate, we were talking about it before, and I've got to fucking hear the story. I'm sorry, but outside of the fucking ring, obviously, I'd imagine the Caboolture man would definitely fucking throw a hand or two prior to the fucking contracts coming in. Talk us through Falls Festival.
Oh yeah,
straight to the point.
Man, I've had some like shindigs in my day, but like since fighting, I haven't had a punch on outside of the, but previous to that, everyone knows my brother's bullfrog, and he was notorious in Caboolture's down at the Irish or something like that. But anyway, long story short, we went to Falls Festival. We didn't even actually fucking go to the festival. We were in the camping ground.
Yeah.
And there was this big hucker. His name's Dom, actually, and he was a boxer. He's an amateur boxer. But he
so you know this guy?
Oh, I didn't know him.
I do now.
Fucking knows me.
We went up to like this place that everyone was off tits up at this one section in the camping ground. We went up there just for a stroll, and he had no shirt on and tattoos everywhere. He brushed past me and like dropped a shoulder into my brother, my twin brother.
Yeah.
And I was bucked.
Oh, do you have a twin?
Yeah, I've got a twin.
Oh, fuck, hectic.
Yeah, I drove down and they were all into it on the way down. So when we got there, I set up the camping ground and had stuff like that. It was really cool. Back in the day, you have a school fight, and people add to the group.
Oh, bro. Yeah. And you're young and
600 metres back to my campsite, and the group that people gone, Dom's fighting someone. Everyone knew who this Dom is, a Sunny Coast boy.
Yeah.
Dom's fighting. And I'm like, yeah, he's fucking fighting. He's fighting. Yeah, punch his head in. And we walked up to my campsite. We'll buy like a toilet block. I got the old Lancer, popped the fucking boot, 2 pairs of gloves. Mind you, they were like bag mitts. They were like not even 4-ounce gloves. They just had like the detached thumb, and it was fucking shit out.
They weren't winning gloves.
Nah, they had no winning gloves or impact boxing, but we got them out. It was sick. People turned their cars around, put the lights on.
Oh, yeah. Never back down. Never back down.
We buy the toilet block, and I was like, yeah, let's fucking go. I got the videos, and we touched gloves, and shit you not, I was buckled, mind you.
A couple of Vodka Soda hands
16 beers deep. I threw a jab, and I couldn't fucking fight really back then. I think I had amateur MMA fight by then. Thought I was hot shit. Threw a jab, and he slipped it. I thought, fuck. You throw your first punch in a real fight with a boxer, and someone makes you miss. You're like, fuck. And I thought, this cunt knows what he's doing, and we proper duked it out. For probably, he's 95 kilos, I reckon.
He's much bigger, and you're 19.
Okay, he was a big hug.
You would have been fucking 50.
No shoes on, no shirt, and we were duking it out. We would have like a punch on. Rest there. Punch on. It was like 20
Bullfrog in the corner.
Yeah, bullfrogs in the corner. We probably did that 9 or 10 times, like have a kick for a minute, have a rest, and then got to a point where I started putting it on him. He was getting a bit tired, and I was a little bit fitter, and I was thumping the cunt, and I said, "Is that enough?" His blood claret coming out everywhere. I said, "You had enough?" He goes, yeah. I said, fucking so have I. You want a beer? He's like, yeah. So we went to my car, had a beer. We were best mates for the rest of the day.
Oh,
yeah.
that's sick.
I've got
That's
a bit
the
of
best
footage. I'll
ending.
post it up, but I'll send it to you guys. You can put it in the
Yeah. Fucking nice. Hopefully,
it was a
fucking.
proper punch on, and I woke up with the worst headache. Drink or the fucking punches I exhausted, but it was bad. So I was on my deathbed for the next 2 days.
I got a good question about that.
Yeah,
we were talking about it earlier.
This is the dumbest question.
Different one.
Oh, different one.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, obviously when you're watching a fight and you're in a fight and stuff, you know how they always say commentators go, oh, he earned his respect and stuff for that hit. Like, do you like get that? Like, is it like with that guy, for example, do you remember that? And if you hit him, you can kind of go, he goes, oh, I get like where you're at kind of thing.
Yeah,
or if you're in a fight now, like, where they go, oh, he's earned his respect with that hit kind of thing.
Like taking a shot?
Yeah.
For sure. Like, if you land a peach of a punch on someone and they take it up to you straight after, that's like, oh, fuck, yeah, good on him. But, I know what you're saying, but you never want to take the punch. There's no way. Like, if you can make them miss, for sure. But I think you get more respect in making someone miss than just taking his shot. Going, all right, cunt, is that all you got?
Yeah, because you were saying at the beginning, like, when you land, you get the good knuckle on them and stuff.
Yeah.
And then if they don't go down, are you kind of in the middle of the fight? Are you going like, oh, okay, like,
sure, you've got a couple zombies where you just
my first 2 pro boxing fights, I sparked them out in the first minute with, at light heavyweight. Then I fought here in Brisbane, Eastside Boxing. This guy from New Zealand, Terence Montgomery, his name was, and I said to my coach, I want to at least do 2-3 rounds, so I was knocking everyone out. And I hit him with the same punches I've hit everyone else with, and he didn't go down. I started to panic like I come back to the round. I said, Blair, fuck, I've hit him with the same punches. Everyone goes down. He goes, yeah, well, you said you wanted to do a couple of rounds. And I thought, fuck. And in the moment, I was like, I don't want to do any more rounds. Go down and stay down sort of thing, for sure, yeah.
But yeah, imagine that guy's perspective. What was his name, the guy that you met at Falls?
Dom. His name was Dom.
Yeah, imagine his perspective. Like, you were like, had your moment where you're like, oh, shit, I think this guy actually boxes amateur. Like, and then his perspective, he's like, I'm going to fuck this guy. He's like 70 kilos, I'm going to bury him.
I was saying, Dom's fighting.
And then, So
wait.
he had that same moment of you, like, in that fight where he's like, oh, this guy actually is about that shit. Like,
you know what's funny is this Dom cunt's walking around these days going like, I boxed on with eyes.
That's his claim to fame now.
It was New Year's or something. Like the day after New Year's, and he's a big, scary-looking bloke, and he was hanging out of the car in a car park on a headland, and I was staring at him, he was staring at me, and from where I'm from, if you look at someone for more than 3 seconds, they normally want to punch on with you. And I was walking with my spoodle, so fuck's this cunt looking at? And he's looking at me, I'm looking at him, and then I get closer, he's like, hey mate, how are you? And I noticed it was Dom, so
it's Dom. What's up?
Hey mate, how are you? So yeah.
Oh, fucking, that's so good. But wait, Max, hit him with the fucking...
Yeah, stupid, dumb question. I know you were saying, like, obviously being a fighter and stuff, you're very confident outside, you don't want to start and you're not even going to start anything.
If it comes down
but if it really comes down to the nitty-gritty of it, you're at home with your wife.
Yeah.
Let's say your kid's out, it's 5 years from now, right?
Yeah.
You're at home. It's 1 a.m. You've got CCTV all over the house. And it's 1 a.m. and you see a guy, like, coming to the house, right?
Well, you hear a knock.
Yeah.
Or you hear something downstairs.
And you know for a fact he's got... he's got no weapon. He's got no knife. He's got nothing. Are you going down barehanded, or you got?
Fucking no.
Yeah, or with
I've had this conversation with Jim. Now we got a kid on the way. If anyone steps foot in this fucking house, I'd never like to say I'd kill someone, but I'll go full MMA. I'll break his fucking knees. I'll snap every arm on him. I'll wake him back up and then choke him out unconscious again. 100%.
He's like doing rounds.
He'll hook him. I'll blow his knees out, fucking break his arms for sure. If anyone
he's in your gym.
Like if there was an option of like a metal baseball bat or you, like are you grabbing the bat or are you just going down?
I'm going in. Not easy. Nothing for sure. Actually, I got another story down here at the valley, fucking driving in to take my spoodles to the park. This character in a Commodore VE had his head hanging out the window spraying me. So I did a bat lap around and he jumped out of the car with a bat in the middle of the street near the putt place.
Yeah,
Holy Moly.
I pulled up at Holy Moly. He was down by cash converters there. She got a fucking problem.
Was he just some fucking iced out cunt? Or?
Yeah. On a Sunday morning.
Yeah.
And he pulled out his bat and I had an umbrella in my car. I thought I'm not taking an umbrella to a bat fight, and just walked up there with nothing. And he turned to water too. So there you go. Bats mean fuck all.
Wait, did you exchange shots? Or
I punched him in the mouth once,
and he was like, "Fuck this!"
And he went, "Whoa!" I said, "You fucking have no idea what you're doing." I've done that twice. Like go to have a crack, and then I flinch him, and they all. So, you're not even worth it. But he needed a smack in the lips, and I gave it to him.
So that's how you tell. I got to learn how to not flinch, because then that's clearly a fighter's sense of like, he can actually get down.
Yeah, because that's the Dom story. I went like that. And he didn't do anything. I thought,
okay, he can. He's about.
But would you not agree? Because obviously it's sad as fuck. But that bloke that got fucking stabbed in the valley terrible. Or whatever. Yeah, horrible. But I was talking to a bloke that I work with. He's just like hating my tie. But would you not agree that like in any fight situation on the street, if you are like you're unsure, the best fucking thing to do is just run the fuck away.
Run away, put your running shoes on, and then fucking take a sprint, because that is so scary, man. Like even watching the video, it didn't look like old mate. Like he was
really got it.
His friend was antagonising it, and he walked up, and man, it's just not worth it this day and age. Everyone wants to be a gangster with drill music and stuff, and carrying shanks and shivs. What the fuck, man?
Yeah, fuck
man,
that.
I would back myself against 98% of the people in the valley on a Saturday night.
Fucking say 100.
You don't know.
But
if it
man,
came to
you punch on with one, his mate's gonna fucking dog shot you, then you're gonna get a boot laid into you. It's not worth it, eh?
Well, that was like fucking the city kickboxing as well. A hectic MMA fighter, and he's fucking king hit. Like, doesn't matter who you are, like on the street, fuck.
So yeah, that's right. You could be Mike Tyson in the street, and it don't mean shit.
BJ Penn got the shit kicked out of him. Like, what the fuck?
Man.
Like,
BJ Penn also got drowned in a fucking.
Oh, bro. Have you heard that story?
No.
Oh,
he's a
dude.
weapon, BJ.
Like, it doesn't really make much sense fucking retelling it on our potty, but fuck, it's better from his mouth. But he went to like Kelly Slater's wave pool.
Yeah.
Oh God!
that wasn't the mic.
Sponsored by Rothman Blue cigarettes. But yeah, he basically went to he got invited to Kelly Slater's like wave pool sort of thing. And I don't know if you've seen it, but they've got this big bowl in the middle that drops down. He goes boom.
Oh yeah,
boom, and the waves go off. BJ Penn went there and was fucking serving because obviously he's Hawaiian or whatever. He gets pulled in by the fucking the thing going down, the water sucks him in. He got sucked into the fucking engine room.
Oh, come on.
Bro. Yeah. So apparently he's in this like little metal box. It's like as big as like a fucking, like you can barely stand up in it. And there's like a flutter, like a little like thing coming through. And water is just, every time the wave pumps, water's just going in there. And he's in this box getting fucked up, like all the way through, getting bashed up the top, bottom, fucking left, right, center. And he said the only reason that I'm alive is because I'm a fucking UFC champion, cunt. He was like,
just breathing.
He was like standing there waiting for the next load of water. He goes like, let's go. And then the next water
in there. That does not surprise me. BJ's got some screws loose for sure.
Oh, sure.
Crazy, bro.
100%.
Oh, well, fuck it. I think we've had a good fucking pod so far. We'll get out of your cunts' ears. If you fucking haven't already, follow fucking Issac Hardman on Instagram at what? Hardman Boxer?
Hardman Boxer.
Hardman Boxer. And if you're fucking not sitting in front of his next fight with popcorn, you're a fucking cunt.
No, if you're not at the fight, mate, front row.
Oh, I'm going to be fucking there and I'm going to get booted from it as well.
Yes.
And then after party at the fucking Caxton afterwards.
Right,
let it off, get about a fucking keg of this shit. Yeah. The Hardman gin, also buy the Hardman gin at fucking Antagonist Distillery.
Yeah, that's
fucking everything Issac Hardman, just fucking get it in ya, or else you're a fucking loser. But mate, thanks for fucking coming on today. This is fucking 6 beers deep, the fucking dumbest podcast in Brizzy. And yeah, fucking smash all our shit, like, subscribe, do all that crap. I don't care anymore. I'm pissed. Rightio. Peace.